Can I get a roll call vote, please?
Councilman Sachsen-Heimer,
Here.
Councilwoman Cleveland,
Here.
Councilman Washington.
Here.
Councilman Evans.
Here.
Councilwoman Boray,
Here.
Councilman Roberts.
Here.
Councilwoman Baye.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to, remove number 6?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. First, discussion of notice of vacancy of elected officials. So it is with a sad heart that I inform everyone that Councilwoman Shivers passed away last week at her home. We have put some flowers in her spot. She does have, her family does have a memorial service set up. Am I the?
Oh, yes, you are.
The funeral visitation and services will be held at St. Anne, right down the road. A Saturday at 10 o'clock. They have some beautiful flowers. So if you want to, it's gonna be Saturday, 10 a.m. At St. Anne Catholic Church. And then the service is immediately following that, and then the burial is at noon, immediately following that. And so in honor of Councilwoman Shivers, I wanted to read her obituary. There were so many things that you just don't know about a person. We're getting to know. Ernestine Marie Shivers was born on May 29, 1957 in Beauvoir, Tennessee, to Lenore and Ernest Shivers. As a toddler, the family moved to St. Louis, Missouri after Ernest finished his Army service. The family settled in Northwoods, with Ernestine attending Ascension Grade School and St. Mary's All-Girls School. Graduating in the class of 1975. She attended University of Missouri St. Louis, pursuing a degree in business. Ernestine always prided herself on an incredible work ethic, and it showed at an early age. At 12, she assisted the neighbors for cash and worked at the corner store in her neighborhood, stocking shelves and working as a cash register. In her 20s, she briefly moved to New York City, working in the fashion and beauty industry. She pursued a corporate career back in St. Louis afterward, starting with sales at Famous and Barr, and subsequently professional services at Union Pacific Railroad. In the early 80s, Ernestine started at the Archdiocese of St. Louis, jump-starting a career there that would last more than 20 years across multiple offices and functions, including St. Anne Parish and now the Cathedral Regalia Center and Washington University. In 2007, she started at St. Louis Public Schools, working as the district headquarters downtown to the Gateway High School, Sodan, and Kennard, before leaving the district in late 2010. She loved mentoring and working with the youth and strived to create a welcoming environment in her office, complete with candy and stuffed animals. In addition to her full-time career, Ernestine was proud to serve the St. Louis community. Starting in the early 2000s, she was appointed by the county executive to the St. Louis County Parks Board, a position she served in with pleasure and honor before retiring in 2019. In 2024, she steered out of retirement to serve the city of Norman, the town she has lived in since 1990. She won an election as a councilwoman and served the city with honor and enthusiasm upon her homecoming. Ernestine loved her family. While on the board at St. Louis County Parks, she organized for her nieces and nephews to do a horse-drawn carriage tour for the holiday lights at Tillis Park every single year for over a decade. For back to school, she would use her St. Louis Public Schools connections to ensure that they had school supplies for the first days of school. And for holidays, she would often buy winter jackets to ensure they weren't going cold. Beyond those moments, she always loved to reach out over phone, text, or check in on people and ensure that they were okay. Finally, she loved her son David. If you chatted with her for even a second, she would tell you countless tales or stories that David accomplished in his education and professional journey. He was her world, and she sacrificed immensely to ensure he had the chance to lead a good life. The last trip she took was to San Francisco to see her son get married. One of the proudest days of her life. She was happy to have a daughter, Amanda, in her life and was looking forward to building more cherished memories. Ernestine is survived by her only child, David, husband, Carl, sister, Christine, nieces, Carmelita and Carmelita, nephew, Christopher, grandniece, Carmen, grandnephews, Chris, Caleb, Leon, Kaylin, and Cameron, along with her countless uncles and aunts and extended family from all over the country. She is preceded in death by her parents, Lenore and Ernest Shivers, brother-in-law, Buddy Daniels, and grandnephew, Cortez. So we will have, in honor of her service for the city of Normandy, we will arrange for a police escort at her funeral, and also a proclamation will be given to her family. But I would like to take a moment of silence to remember Councilwoman Ernestine Shivers and the time that she served on the board, and to take some thoughts to think about how much she loved Normandy and her family and serving others. Thank you. Next up, discussion of city council appointment process. So, the process for filling her seat is one that I'm charged with handling. This is how the process goes. And we went through the same thing with Councilman Washington. So the appointment is made by me and the council of fronts and everything. And since we are down a council seat, the vote would have to go for council people in order for that confirmation to happen. That is not something that I'm looking to do tonight. That is something that I would certainly like to do at the next workshop. The reason why I want to do it at the next workshop is because the city is in the middle of a lot of things that are going on, and we have appointments that we have to make for a city administrator, and also our budget is coming up, and it is best to always have a full council and everything, so that it's not so that all of the wards are being represented in the state that our statute says. So that's my comment on that. Does anybody have any questions about
I just had
the
a
process?
Yeah, so I know, because I was just devastated. I was just looking into the process of how, like, other counties or other municipalities, I know there's also an option about, like, a special election. Have we ever done that or thought about that?
So we wouldn't need to do a special election, and the reason why we wouldn't need to is because her council seat isn't up until April, and so the appointment was served until her seat is up, and then they have the option in April, or whenever April to actually, like, go after the seat, or to just step aside and everything. So, and if we had a special election, if that was the case, like, let's say she was in the voting cycle that we just it wouldn't affect that. If we had a special election, the city would have to put forward. So
Right.
those are funds that we would have to, pay for. So that's not necessary right now, and everything.
How much does the special election cost?
I don't know how much a special election costs, but we don't need a special election, so it's.
Before we, if I may, before we go down the special election route too
Yeah.
much, it's not an option in this
It's not
case, right?
relevant,
So,
yeah.
again, lots of different cities, there's charter cities, there's third-class cities, fourth-class cities, so some of those special elections might have been for different positions in different types of cities. The filling of these vacancies for third-class cities is very straightforward, it's in the statutes, it's in 77-450, and it says that the successor shall serve until the next available regular municipal April election.
Okay.
So if Councilwoman Shivers had just been elected in April of '25, then there would be an election for her seat for the remainder of her term at the next municipal election in 2026. And then there would be another election for that same seat for the full 2-year term in '27. But because Councilwoman Shivers' term was set to end anyway in '26, there will just be an election for a full term of 2 years.
Gotcha.
It's, yeah.
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you for asking though.
Any other questions about the process?
Yeah, as I read the statute, it says that the appointment, this is the meeting where we announce the vacancy, and the appointment happens at the next regular meeting. I know that the workshops have been taking on more and more weight over the last few years, but again, it's not, I don't think the workshops are considered regular meetings. And I'd like there to be as much public involvement in that process as we can.
Does it matter if it's at a workshop or a special meeting?
What specific language are you referring to, Vicki? Are you looking at 77-450?
Yeah. I mean,
So 77-450, the first section, like the first 3 or 4 sentences are what refer to filling vacancies in an elective office. And then that last sentence, if a vacancy occurs in any office not elective, like if Marty were to, pass away, then the mayor shall appoint a suitable person to discharge the duties of the same until the first regular meeting. So that's referring to appointive officers, right? Not elective officers.
Okay.
And just to answer the question about why at the workshop. So, like I said before, it is my goal to move forward so that we have representation of 2 council people for each ward. And unfortunately, we know life does not stop, right? And everything. The appointment is mine to make and the council's to confirm. So moving forward with the process, 1, gives us an opportunity to continue to do the business of the city. And then 2, it also makes sure that the residents of the 3rd ward have their 2 votes. Because at a workshop, we do discuss things that are, and sometimes we have closed sessions and everything about certain topics. So the budget is something that we're gonna start talking about at the workshop. That's something that we definitely need to have an appointment for. Like I said, we have a city administrator position that's open. That's something that we need a voice for 2 people for the ward. So continuing on with the process is in no way just to be crass or anything. It is just how the process goes, unfortunately.
So is that a public process, or how is that supposed to work?
I make the appointment and you guys confirm. You have a yes or no vote.
Okay. I gotta read on the ordinances to find out.
And it's the same process that I went through with you. I called you on the phone. Yeah, I called you on the phone. I talked to your counterpart. And it was the same process. And I want to say you were appointed
Next meeting.
at the next meeting. Yeah. I was appointed at a workshop. Yeah, but it's the same process that we went through with you. And it's the same process that happened with me when Beckman retired. So, any other questions? Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Uh,
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Next, citizen comments.
Craig.
Hi. My name is Ellen Craig. I live in the former village of Glen Echo Park. And I would like to address the state of the park that's in the former village of Glen Echo Park. My house is bordering the park. I don't know if you have the geography in mind, but the park is going through the village. There's 2 cut-through roads, so the park is between those 2 cut-through and all the way to the border, to the golf course. So my property is along that park. And the Public Works have done a great job at maintaining the grass short and stuff like that, but it's very overgrown with weeds, and some are pretty invasive too, such as honeysuckle, poison ivy. I have a little poison ivy here from it. So I was wondering if you have planned to be taking care of the park, on a yearly basis, maybe make sure that it's not like full of weeds and it looks beautiful like it used to be.
Thank you.
Any-
Oh,
Any comment on
this
that?
is your time to talk, we do
Oh.
not comment. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you have anything else to say, you have 3 minutes.
Okay, no, that was my question, so I don't know, are you responding to me or
I'm
just
not gonna
commenting?
respond right now.
Okay,
because
gotcha.
This
I
is your
understand.
3 minutes. I will
Okay.
respond later, but not right now.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
okay, so that was my comment.
Patricia Chandler.
Hello,
hey, Ms. Taylor.
Patricia Chandler, Ward 4, Farmo, Glen Echo Park. Have a question to the board. Will the streets on St. Andrews and Henderson get paved this year? Because we're going into now late August, September, and I know the repairs have to be done before it gets cold. So I'll wait for an answer, but it's kind of crumbling and we are in need of some assistance. And I understand that we do have the money for it. Okay, thank you.
Kimberly Moore.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Oh, I really hate that Mr. Marty isn't here because I wanted to start my spiel off with this evening with saying that as someone who's a very active city member, it has been so awesome to have Mr. Marty Cochran here. He's very responsive. He even gave me a call about an issue with a neighbor on a Saturday, and even though weekend work isn't required, just having someone who has the knowledge and expertise to actually execute things has been quite refreshing. Just wanted to, I've been saying this for over 2 years and countless emails to the entire council. I know that our code enforcement person does not come. He probably should start coming to the meetings. I don't think he understands the gravity of what the citizens would like. I will again here at the podium ask for proactive enforcement. Again, if you want to hedge off problems, you have to be proactive, and he's not even reactive. We have a plethora of trash cans out on Bermuda Road, on Faraway, and on Skyview. Trash was picked up, pardon me. Trash was picked up, and those receptacles should be brought back and out of sight by now, so they're in the street. 2 homes in particular on Skyview, there was a toilet halfway in the street, halfway in the grass, for over a week, and there's no way he drove around proactively and saw that for them to continue to be there. And the people on Faraway and Skyview are repeat offenders, so if we can possibly get the gentleman who does code enforcement to actually code enforce the whole city and be proactive, we greatly appreciate it. For our new Marty, just wanted to make a comment about MoDOT. We had MoDOT here about a year and a half ago in reference to some issues going on in the city, not to deal with Natural Bridge, but just the way they clean things up, and they're up here off of 70 and Bermuda. They recently cut the grass about a month ago, but there are 4 to 5 foot weeds, and it's very unsightly. What typically used to happen, if we couldn't get them to be accountable, the person in your position would have their team go clean up those edges. So I just wanted to bring that up because it's very unsightly, and apart from Natural Bridge, that's a major fairway, and it looks really untoward to have accumulated trash on Bermuda Road and 4 or 5 foot tall weeds. This last thing is in reference to our now departed council member. I just wanted to say this as a reminder to the council, to the residents here on Zoom who see this video later and just in life, that we should be kind and respectful to each other, especially when we're dealing with fellow council members and citizens. There's no need to yell, point, or fabricate stories to get what we want. You have no idea what people are going through or what burden they shoulder. So let's just be kind to each other and kind of pull back, and instead of escalating, think about how we can handle each other with a little bit more care. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kim.
There are no other comments.
Can I have, do I still have it? This is an email that I received from the mayor of, not the mayor, I'm the mayor, the superintendent of Ferguson-Florissant School District. And this is a community event that they have in Ferguson-Florissant, and it's open to the public and community leaders and friends and neighbors. So they call it 100 hand claps. I don't know if you guys seen these videos, if people have seen these videos on Instagram. Basically, you cheer the kids on the first day of school, you stand outside and everything, a good job and everything. And it's just basically a way, he put it in here, it's a way basically to support the kids and everything. It's something that, I don't know where it started, but they've been doing it for a while. They high five the kids, give claps and everything, just to let them know that they're supported. There are different times for each school. So the middle school is at 7:10, the high school is at 7:50, 3rd to 5th grade is at 8:30, and then pre-K to 2nd grade is at 9:05. So if we have any council members that would like to attend, or any community members that would like to attend, please let me know. I am gonna email him and just let him know, like, to give me the schedule, and it would be great to have that up so that people can.
Is that at the bus stops or at the school?
No, it's at the actual school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so when they get off the bus and go into the school,
okay.
you're clapping and, have a great year and everything like that. He wants to know, like, what school you prefer. So, because clearly all of them are very close together, right, and everything. So if you wanna go to the high school, or you wanna see the little ones and everything, if you prefer a certain school and everything, to let me know, and then I can.
Now, it's at middle school, it's at the middle school. Which one?
They have, there's that school, there's.
No, I don't do that.
There's more than one middle school.
Since
Yeah,
it's right
there's
there.
Ferguson Middle, Cross
Ferguson
Keys,
Middle.
and Berkeley.
Oh, yeah, there's 3. So
Okay.
it depends, yeah. So, but I'm gonna send this to all the council members, and if we have any community members that wanna chime in.
You said Ferguson Florissant, right?
Yes,
So McCool?
yes.
Mhm.
So McClure Berkeley South, McClure High School, McClure North. Bermuda School would be one. That would be Bermuda School is right on Bermuda in Ward 1, so that's the school that's in our district, and everything. That would be I don't know if that's a pre-K
Yeah,
to
it's the
second
second
grade.
grade. I think it's they about a second.
Okay,
Pre-K to second.
to second, okay, so that would be this time slot, 9:05, and everything. So it'd be great if we could get people out to cheer the kids on, and everything. And I'll just forward this to the council, and
Cool, I can do that.
and people can.
Full order.
The other thing, congratulations to the Redbird rookies. We have a celebration.
RBI.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't on the page.
Nike.
So the Nike RBI, which is under Redbird rookies,
Yes.
and everything, under the watch of Councilman Evans, the girls actually won their Nike RBI championship. And they received medals. What was the score?
14-2.
14-2. So these are 15-year-olds that play 18-year-olds.
Well, that's girls.
Oh, that's-
Girls,
yeah.
Yeah, boys play.
Yeah, so
That's, yeah.
So this is, it's quite a celebration. So the girls won, They're the champions. The boys were the runners up for their division. So what we're gonna do on September the 9th is I asked if they would come and we would present them with a proclamation from Normandy to celebrate their win and their success. And they're gonna come with their jerseys and their medals on and be presented on the 9th at our next regular meeting at 6:30. So, and then,
Can I
Yeah.
expand?
uh,
Now, the girls played their championship at U City. The boys played the championship down at Busch Stadium.
Wow.
What's unique about the boys, even though they came up short, they were 15-year-olds playing 18-year-olds. They had to beat 3 18-year-olds to get to the championship. And they beat all 3 18-year-old teams to get to the championship. They played out of their bracket and won their bracket to get to the championship. So that's a feat within
Yeah.
itself.
and Councilman Sachsenheimer is
Yes.
actually one of the coaches. So
Check it out on Facebook.
yeah, quite.
Buttons Carrot Nike
quite
over
the
there. They got pictures out there.
So congratulations to both coaches, and then we're gonna bring the kids in to, you know, formally congratulate them. I think they'll be great. They're excited about coming. I talked to the coach, about it, so that's gonna be exciting. So that's September the 9th at 6:30. That's our next regular, council meeting.
And one more thing before we move on, we just had a young lady, she signed the scholarship to play for Harrisville University on the girls' team. We had one of the young men, he plays on the 18-year-olds, he just signed a scholarship to play with Quincy University.
That's good.
It's great. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
That's amazing.
Doing great.
4-year scholarship.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a great thing. That's awesome. That's awesome. I don't even.
And they're
You-
from there.
Have you tallied up how many scholarships?
No.
Over the years, it's quite the number.
It's over, it's,
Yeah.
I would say it's over 500,000
So,
now with the college scholarships.
right. So that's quite the accomplishment. If you have not noticed, the USDA plant did open up last month. With the whimper, I will say, and not with the bang. That was quite the experience in that this administration was in no way in contact with the city about that particular thing happening. So, I did go, I was the only elected official for, well, besides the governor, in the entire city of St. Louis.
Wow.
So, it was very nice. It's a very nice facility. They have a top-notch, I mean, it's top-notch, state-of-the-art. It is fully staffed. They do not have a cafeteria, which I thought was a plus, because I did give a plug to our restaurants, and everything for them to venture down the street. They were looking for places, and everything. The employees were amazing. The equipment is unbelievable and breathtaking. There were people from all over the city and all over from other states that came to like put that all together. So they are open. They are open for business, and they are our new neighbors down the street. Just so everyone is aware. And oh, I forgot. They also extended the director of the facility extended an invitation. I asked. Extended an invitation for us to come and visit. So if the council would like to attend, I didn't schedule a time because everybody has to, you have to do that. If we want to do it at a meeting, if we want to do it as a special session, or what we want to do, to give us a tour of the facility. And I think it will definitely take your breath away. But it really is amazing to see what they did with the place and everything. And they still have the cornerstone from the Nuns property there. So yeah, so
It's still there,
and it's still there, and it's still engraved from Augustus Busch. So that's still there on the parking lot. So I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, that is it. Councilwoman Valle?
Okay. We've been talking about how to improve communication, to I've got two things I want to talk about. I'm going to talk about communication first, and then I'll address some other things that are going on in the Fourth Ward. There's a product that I've used a bit. Some of you, I know all of the council persons got an email or a text from me at some point, probably twice, asking you to sign a volunteer registration form. So far, I've got probably 4 responses to that.
Now, do you want to do that now, because it's on the list for new business?
Oh, okay, I can leave that till then. The other thing was to address Mrs. Craig's concerns about the park. I have been communicating with Marty about the park. It seems that we're down to 2 employees in Public Works at this point, and budgets are really tight. So I was told that we would have to wait until later in the fall. I do understand this year in particular, there's been very, very little done. There's been no weeding whatsoever. In the fall and our winter, the plants were not deadheaded, so everything's just kind of growing up. And actually the weeds are invasive, as you said, and much higher than any of the plants. They're almost as big as the trees at this point. So it's going to take some substantial cleanup, not only of the beds, but the rock channel as well. I also have a concern about the fence. When we were the village, we kept at least those fences that were adjacent to public property cleaned off. Now that both sides of the fence are in the city of Normandy and have the same fence ordinances, I think we can address the country club, they've already said that they were willing to work on some things, to get both sides of the fences cleaned up. So as I drove out today, I looked at some of that stuff is on our side, and so it's not all on the other side. But if we can get those fence lines cleaned up, we don't want it to become like Parchester Park in those people's backyards where the weeds are growing over everything. And part of the process of getting that $365,000 that we got from the county to build that park, as you recall, because you were on the board, we had to provide a budget for maintenance of the park. So that's one of the things that I'll be addressing with the administration and figuring out how quickly we can get that done and how we can make sure it doesn't happen again. Because in the fall, at least, we need to weed it, and we mulch that at least once a year and clean the channel out a couple of times a year. So, and the fence lines we maintain. So, those are the things there. Okay, and I'll wait until it's on the agenda for the communication piece.
Just to piggyback off of what Councilwoman Valle said, we did just hire another public works laborer, so we're up to 3. So that person started on Monday. However, having 2 people, we started with 4, we're down to 2. We went down to 2, and now we're at 3. So looking at the budget and seeing where we can hire more laborers or temps is something too. I wrote it down. I forgot to say when I told you I would answer you. I'm sorry.
We might have the opportunity to hire, and we've done this before. Glen Echo Park did not have a public works director. We had Cedric who cut the grass for us. But we might be able to get a company to do some of that work for us. And that can be pretty pricey because I just paid a chunk of change to get the weeds in my yard taken out, but they did a fairly good job. If we keep up with it, we won't ever have to face this kind of thing again. And those are all native plants in there. And I've got the planting schemes if you want them, Marty, so you can see what everything is and what's supposed to be there. And some pictures too. That's all I've got.
Councilman Roberts?
Oh, sorry. I don't have no comments.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Councilwoman Ray?
do, just a few. I wanna thank Marty and Will and the guys you had out working on my street on Rosedale. It's better. It's not such a bumpy ride. Thanks for explaining the use of the material that you used and why you had to use it. And hopefully we'll be able to get the kind of material that you need to do that. And I saw you guys came back again, because the first time, it was some of the larger spots that you said you guys were gonna fill, because it didn't do a whole lot of good to get those little bitty spots, understood. But thanks for coming back to fill those larger spots that were missed. I know I and the other residents on that street, and of course, people who come up and down that street, we all appreciate that. It made a big difference. I'm new to this, so correct me if someone needs to, but we have a problem on Nokomis. There is a resident who has been for 3 years, she tells me, asking for assistance with a vehicle that's parked across the street. I talked with the chief. I had also talked with Marty, and he looked up the ordinance. Though he told me the ordinance said 7 days a vehicle could be parked, and then that vehicle has to move. Otherwise, the city could tow the vehicle. Well, I think it's a 14-day notice that the person gets to move the vehicle. I would like for us to work on changing that ordinance. It is a way that vehicles are allowed to just sit, and they can move them a few inches and say that the vehicle has been moved, but it doesn't take it out of the way of people getting through. It was a really big concern for me the day that Mrs. Shivers passed. We were on her street, and the Nokomis is about maybe the same size, so if cars are parked on both sides, it's very difficult to get down Springdale. So if you're on Nokomis, it's a cul-de-sac. It's the same thing there, and if a vehicle is parked in such a way that a person is trying to get in or out of their driveway, it makes it very difficult for them. So sometimes people aren't very neighborly, and we should all learn, as Kim said, to be kinder to each other. That's a simple kindness, because the person who's parked there does not live where they're parked. They live up from that. But they don't want the birds to poop on their car, so therefore they move the car to someplace where the birds don't poop. I am going to work on this ordinance. Mrs. Shivers knew about this and was interested in helping the neighbor to resolve the issue. So in honor of her, that will be one of the things that I do as councilwoman, to work on changing that ordinance so that it benefits all of Normandy. I think that's it.
So let's make a note to put that on the workshop on the 28th.
Didn't we have a discussion as far as invasive weeds before? I know is it my turn?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Didn't we have a discussion about invasive weeds at one time?
We had the
People-
discussion, for Hosel Park. We've had the discussion with Wayside Garden. And one of the things that we looked into last year was using, I wanna say it's AmeriCorps to assist with, so they would bring in volunteers
So
to help with that process. And then Beyond Housing also has a program to remove evasive
So
plants.
did we discuss residential or just parks?
Just the parks.
Yeah,
is what we're
because we
talking
need
about.
to, that's something that we need to.
But
talk.
Beyond Housing they just had a workshop about evasive plants. There's a new evasive plant that's coming. And it was actually like 2 months ago, I wanna say.
If it's not already here.
But that's something that we could definitely contact Beyond Housing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's something we need to discuss, invasive weeds on residential properties. Because I know most properties have like an easement that Ameren owns, And a lot of people just let that grow. And it's just jumping from yard to yard, and you're constantly fighting it, trying to keep it back. So we probably need to discuss what can we do to.
I don't think it's Ameren owned. They have the right to access.
Yes, that's right.
but
They
don't
have the rights, yeah. But the residents own it, but they have rights, so probably need to discuss, because going up and down Bellwood, Stanwood along the highway is really bad.
Yeah, yeah. So we can contact Beyond Housing again for that and see what programs they have, and then bring it up at the next council workshop.
There's also state statute now about trees, some trees that you can't plant in Missouri anymore. Bradford pears are one of them. So that's fairly new.
Councilman Washington.
Yeah, I'm done.
First off, I want to pay tribute to a long-term citizen of Normandy. Mr. Floyd Brookfield passed away Sunday.
Oh, man.
He stayed on Dunbar. So I wanted to give my condolences to his family.
Should've come, man.
Yeah, he passed away Sunday. We still have ongoing issues in Ward 2 regarding code enforcement, rental properties, and also we want to deal with these occupancy permits to get these updated. Also, there's a nursing home in Ward 2. I think everybody knows where it is, on Bermuda and Bishop Johnson. They recently had tall grass, about as tall as me, growing on the property. I called Marty. Marty called the county because it says it's a county-owned piece of land. They took care of it. They finally cut the grass, but the building still is in very eyesore-ish looking condition. We need to have somebody go talk to them. I don't know if we can, or maybe St. Louis County, or somebody needs to go address and have them make some repairs to that property, because it looks bad.
Residents in there?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And they left weeds on the perimeter, so same thing on Bermuda, they're like 4 or 5 foot weeds in front of the sewer and back into our neighborhood. It's like they just cut it because Marty called, but it looks horrible. And if they keep the outside that bad, it makes me wonder how they treat people, because somebody's dying in there multiple times a week, you hear the ambulance coming.
It's bad inside. My grandmother, my step-grandmother, but she was there, and it's really bad in there.
The outside is atrocious.
You said that the sewer in the back of the property?
Right in front on Bermuda, it's like, it's blocked, so no water gets there, so when we go up and down when it rains, the water's puddle, because there are weeds growing in front, and they don't do anything.
Yeah, they don't do any kind of maintenance to that building at all. So we need to have somebody go out there and have them do something, because it's an eyesore. Just a reminder, on September 5th at 6:30, we're having Shakespeare in the Park on San Ann Lane, right around the corner. It starts at 6:30. Also, on October 4th, from 4 to 8, we're having a jazz festival at Court Collective. And also, it's gonna be National Night Out with the police. They're gonna have a National Night Out as well, combining with the jazz festival. So, we're asking everyone to come out, participate, support these events, and we can strive to have more. That's all I have.
And if you haven't, there are flyers on the table for Shakespeare, and that's also another flyer that we had it last year, if people remember. This is the flyer for
Shakespeare.
It's not letting me show what I want to show.
On the street.
Mayor?
On both sides.
Yes,
That
ma'am.
particular night.
I see these flyers here. I just saw a sign on Normandy, no disrespect, it looked like some kids drew it. Will we have signs up like these nice flyers so people know to look?
Well, I'm gonna get to that. Yeah. So this is the flyer for Saturday, October 4th, for Jazz Night. It's from 4 to 7. The feature band is 3 Central the band starts at 5 and it goes to 7. So this will be on our website, on the Facebook page. And then the other thing, do you want to talk about the sponsorship flyer?
Yeah,
This is what you're asking me about.
we also went around to talk to different businesses to sponsor these events for us, to support these events, and also we can support their business by, supporting them. So, any businesses out there who wants to contribute and sponsor these events, we'll definitely appreciate it, and then we'll help give you advertisement and help support your business as well.
And that flyer is also on it does not have to be a business that's in Normandy. This is the flyer that's on the table also. So we have different levels. So it's $250, $500, and $1,000. And it tells you for each different package what you get and everything. So if you know of anyone who has an online business or would just like to support in general and everything to help, we will have a step and repeat with logos and everything, and then we will also have signs of support. That deadline is, what's the date? The 18th is the date that we need. If you know of anyone, or you know yourself if you know of a business, or you yourself would like to sponsor or be a sponsor for the Shakespeare Festival, the 18th of April is the deadline for that collection. Oh, sorry, August. Ooh, sorry. Thank you. But there are flyers. Both of these flyers are on the table.
Please come out and support.
We have an issue in Ward 1 with what I call pocket rockets, the little bitty motorcycles. Crouch rockets, whatever you want to call them. 3/4 of them are not even legal or more, which makes them very dangerous, especially since we're getting plumbing done to the streets. They're very tore up right now. Some places drop 2 or 3 inches, and if one of those hits that, someone can get hurt. If they could just have the police just patrol a little bit more so we could stop that before we have a young person get seriously hurt. Thank
And
you.
I believe we had that problem before, and
Yes.
we talked about how we couldn't catch them in the act, but.
Yeah, and it's hard to catch
But
them.
I believe that the last time this happened, Chief went to the house
Yes,
and spoke to the parents.
I'm working on
Do
trying
you
that.
know what house?
I wish I did. I'm working on that.
All right, so I would, definitely get that to her, because she does have a problem.
Yeah, I helped them with addresses before. I haven't got to that point yet. But I don't want to see them with the streets being in such disarray right now. If they do it at night, a lot of them don't have headlights. And if they hit one of those places, they don't wear helmets. So that's why hopefully we could track them down and stop it before someone gets hurt. Thank you.
Thank you. Just so everyone is aware, the police department will be at the 100 Hands clap for Ferguson Florissant School District, so they're going to have some representation for us if anyone would like to join them. So I'm leaving the meeting. Next. Presentation on emergency preparedness seminar. So this was a seminar that I extended to the community and also to the council members. It was basically about emergency preparedness. Councilman Saxenheimer is our emergency preparedness administrator. So he's gonna give us a presentation on what we learned at that seminar. It was a lot of great information. And I think this will get the ball rolling with us starting to think about what we can do as individuals and as a community to prepare for a disaster that could happen, so.
Yes, on Saturday, July 19th, UMSL hosted the Emergency Preparedness Workshop. It's basically how you need to make a plan or something tragic happens like it happened down in North City. A lot of this was from FEMA, that people down there lost everything. They had problems from stemming from, couldn't even prove they owned their homes because the paperwork was gone. So what they did is they came up with things how to create this emergency plan. For instance, they covered flood, wind, earthquake. There's a different plan for almost every one of them. The safe room they expanded on the safe room. Everyone thought going to the bathroom and getting in the tub. Well, that's not necessarily the best all the time. The staircase going downstairs is just as safe or maybe more, because that protects you from the ground level. That's part of what they went over. The other part is an escape route. People don't think, if you're downstairs trying to ride out a storm and part of your house caves in, you better know how to get out. And you better know who you got in there in order to help them get out, especially if they're elderly or young. Pets. If there's a tragedy, potential for bad weather coming, put a leash on your pet. So in case of emergency, you could just grab that leash and go. You just don't want to let them run, for an example. They made a list for emergency contacts, things to be put in a safe, deeds, insurance information, telephone numbers. A lot of people, I've lived in my house 45 years. My wife probably don't know what insurance company we have. And if something happens to me, she's going to start from scratch. Okay, so you need to make a plan. They also have a kit with things like batteries, flashlights, a telephone, cell phone charger. A lot of them, they talked about the battery operated charger, because if they knock power out of a certain area, you can't go somewhere and plug it in to charge your phone. Everyone is relied now on a cell phone. That's very important. So they recommended everyone get these battery powered chargers and have them in this kit with bottled water, snacks that, like those little crackers with cheese on them, things you could snack on until you can get out and get some food if you have to have something. The water. The other thing is, and that's important because I take a bunch of meds myself, make a list of your medications you take. I cannot tell you to this very minute every med that I take. I can't. So if you don't put them down and you start having health problems because you forgot about your blood pressure pill, that just adds to the problem. They also said things like emergency contacts. So if, for instance, if we can go to a shelter and they give you 5 minutes for the phone because there's 50 people in there, you better have a list there of who you want to talk to and their phone number. Okay? All this should be put in your safe. We are currently, I'm working on getting this set up as a workshop, hopefully in this room. I'm in the process of trying to get a hold of UMSL or maybe somebody from St. Louis County or something to help with this. So it will be posted when we get some things set up, but it's being worked as we speak. But that's just some of the things we talked about. We went for 4 hours and they ran out of time. So, and it was only a couple days after the tragedy in the North City, so you know that they were just telling you one thing after another. So that's what we're working on right now, but it's at the very early stages.
Steve, it's probably been at least 10 years, but believe it was offered by the municipal league, but there was training, and there was, Normandy has an emergency response kind of a booklet. I still have my copy because we were a contract city for police services. And so they were given to everybody in the area. But there was training in emergency response, and I think FEMA was doing it. And at that point, everybody on the city council had to be certified. You had to go through a certification process and so forth. I can't remember, it was some acronym. I want to say TIMS or something like that.
CERT.
CERT?
CERT.
Which one?
CERT. CERT.
Yeah, it could have been CERT, but I think it was something else before that. Anyhow, but that's a good training to go through as well. And having I think the police, because I've talked to Tamika about it, I think she put that together when Chief Menini was here. And so there was a guide for the entire city with maps, emergency routes, those kinds of things. Maybe pull out a copy of that and update it. And then find out whether they still offer that kind of training and certification again.
So one of the first things that I talked to the chief about, and also Kiana about, was that the plan, and also Marty about the plan, because this was right after the hurricane, the tornado for the city. So we do have those booklets. Like you said, they're not up to date. It still has Menini's name on it. The other thing, the county does provide certification for elected officials, but also one of the things that we want to look into is having certification for individuals in neighborhoods. And that is something that I have spoken to one of my neighbors concerning, because she had a good plug, and it's actually a training that they do this one was gonna be in Jefferson City, but they also do it at Forest Park. And it's a whole day, and they basically take you through an event. And then after that, they put you on a list, and you're kind of like the contact person in your neighborhood if there's an emergency, and they give you things to like help with that. So partnering with them, I also talked to the Kiwanis Club about it, because they had good certifications. But I think another thing that is gonna be important is recognizing what resources the communities around us, including UMSL, has. And if we don't have chainsaws, what community has a chainsaw? If we don't have a skid steer or a bulldozer, we have to move trees out of the way, what community can come and help us with that? So we wanna make a plan that not only includes, in my mind, this will be a staggered plan. It would be the plan for you individually, the plan for your home, the plan for your neighborhood, the plan for, your area, and then the plan that we have with communities and everything. Because one area may not get hit at all, but the other one, we need this, we need that, and everything like that. And also, Chief informed me about, they did consult the fire department and talking to them about a plan. So getting that done, the tornado season is winding down. So I think like if we start to talk about and get a plan in place starting in July and everything, it's gonna take a while to get all of that together and like where we should start and everything, and then start having classes, and perhaps also making it broader, taking it to Beyond Housing, because I did talk to Beyond Housing and the MML about those things, and it was kind of like you guys should talk to each other, but you don't want to wait till something happens to have a plan, So any amount of preparedness is better than none. So that's the goal there. So thank you. It was a really good seminar. It was me and Steve, and then a resident actually came, and they did give us free supplies, and they weren't expensive. If you go to the dollar store, pick up a pack of batteries. If you go to Target and a charger is on sale for $5, pick up a charger. It was just like those kind of little tips, because people get overwhelmed. I gotta buy everything right now. No, you just pick up a little bit at a time and everything, and then before you know it, you have what you need. And I believe was it 3 days that they said for food and water?
Yes.
at least 3 days of food and water, for yourself and your family members.
Yeah,
So,
non-perishable food.
yes. Thank you. Report of officers. City treasurer.
Someone has a hand raised.
What?
Chief Sanders.
No, Green?
She provided a written report.
Oh, yeah, it's in the consent
Yeah.
agenda. Yeah.
That was in the,
Yeah. Go, Mr. Ellis.
Oh, okay.
Does she want to say something?
Yeah,
Or
her hand's
Yeah,
up.
I wonder if you have something to say about the
is she
topic.
unmuted? I'm not in control.
Can you guys hear me?
Now we can, yes.
I just wanted to chip in real quick on the emergency management stuff before you guys got away from that. Vicky's right. It was NIMS training, and the NIMS training is still available on the SEMA and FEMA websites where you can go on and all the council can take the free training classes. All of the officers have to be NIMS 100 ICS incident command systems and structures certified in order for us to qualify for state emergency management funds and federal emergency management funds, as do the members of the city council. So the training is available online. I sent out the link via email before. I'll send it to Marty again so he can get it out to everyone. But it is really good training that talks about how local emergencies and then regional emergencies should be handled, and gives good pointers on ways to set up emergency cooling stations, emergency stations. And then I also wanted to remind everybody that the police department is a part of the St. Louis County Area Mutual Aid Plan. So if we ever had any civil unrest that was large or catastrophic loss, just like when Clayton had its tornadoes, because we're in the county, we can request a code 1000, which would bring 25 officers into the community and 5 supervisors, a code 2000, 50, 3000, 75, so forth and so on, officers to the community for search and rescue. And these are capabilities and things that the St. Louis County Dispatch and Office of Emergency Management would roll out, where we would have the bodies that we need, so long as it's not a widely spread out issue per se, as long as it's not affecting the entirety of the region. Sometimes if something's impacting certain jurisdictions, then all of the other jurisdictions are able to lend a hand. So we're good on the police side with all of our police capabilities for emergency management. And then there's also the St. Louis County Office of Emergency Management, which we have quarterly meetings with. And they also meet with the fire department, where we all work collectively and we do joint exercises for regional fallout, or even just jurisdictional fallout, or things that could happen in our own footprint. But I would highly recommend, I can put you guys in touch with someone from the offices of emergency management. During COVID, they were the ones that rolled out all of the security apparatus, the hand sanitizers, the N95 masks, and they apply for some of the larger federal grants as the Office of Emergency Management. And they do so on behalf of the municipalities to bring resources into the municipalities quickly. And then the police department is kind of the central repository where we go and we pick those things up through the Office of Emergency Management. So I don't want anyone to think that we're high and dry and we have no plans. The plans could always be better. They could always be updated. But there are things in place right now if something were to happen today, like at this very moment right now in Normandy. And we as the police department do have certain preparedness plans. I just think it would behoove us for everyone to get on board and take those NIMS and ICS classes and get certified, so we don't run into any hiccups with any federal or state level funding if we needed to apply for it as a municipality. And the last thing is, the council approved at, I believe it was about 6 months ago, the Department of Defense LISO program. And Major Larson and I have been looking through some of the LISO equipment and some of the things we have on deck. We're actually in line right now. It's not our turn yet, but we have 2 large scale generators earmarked for the city that would potentially be able to run City Hall, and one for Public Works in the event that we had a major blackout. And then we've actually put in for 2 smaller generators that are mobile generators that we could take to events like the Jazz Festival and other outdoor events where we need outdoor power and we don't necessarily have to borrow from others. So those are some of the things that we've done. And we're also, we were just approved for to be a Blue Shield city. by Governor Kehoe. Major Larson wrote the proposal, and we thankfully were approved to be a Blue Shield city. And under Blue Shield cities, one of the things they did as soon as you were approved, they opened up a $50,000 grant, and it's not something that is competitive. Everybody that applies will get the $50,000, and we have actually parsed out about 50% of that $50,000 for apparatus that we're missing, like stop signs, emergency cones, lighting, and things like that that we could utilize in the event that we have blackouts, to keep traffic flowing easily, and just some different things that we knew that we were lacking in the police department. So we used part of our Blue Shield grant funds to do that. Thank you for your time.
When I talked to you, was NCI one of the organizations that you told me that also offered some support?
NCI is the one that is tearing down the houses for us, and they also told me that they can do commercial as well, but that's another conversation. So yes, NCI does help with community projects as far as like demolition and some other community related stuff, but the training is NIMS.
Okay. All right. No, I don't want to give the impression that the police department is not prepared. What we're trying to do is, my goal is to trickle it down and then have all of the council members understand the plan. But it needs to trickle down. I feel like the knowledge that we have, and me and Chief talked about this, like she said, the stop signs, because we did have a couple of occasions where I was like, we don't have any stop signs, and she's like, yeah, I know, we don't. We need to get that and everything. So she is very good at understanding when an emergency happens, what to do, and the entire police force. But when you have an emergency, you want somebody like right now. And so if you are educated yourself, or someone in your community is educated themselves, it lessens the pressure that we would have to put on services for minor things. Because something happens and people get frazzled, you call 911 and you want them right now. Maybe there's something that you could take care of immediately yourself if there's a problem where they can't get to you right away. So Chief Sanders she's definitely going to lead the charge on that and everything. So
Absolutely.
I have been talking to a lot of different people and organizations about what do you do? What do you do? Do you have anything that we can look at? So yeah, so she's definitely going to take the helm on that and helping me and Steve. So, Mr. Ellis.
Thank you. So first, just to note that the May report, although it was not presented to the board, I did give a narrative last month on that, so I am hopeful that you all might be able to approve that at this meeting. But I am here tonight to present my narrative for the June 25 financial report as prepared by Ms. DeGarmo. So I will go ahead and give my narrative for each section, and then we'll be able to take any questions. So first, Part 1, Section A, the summary of the income statement. For the month of June, the city recorded a net income of $7,315. That was a result of revenues of $289,000 versus expenditures of $282,000. Due to that result, the city realized an overall net deficit for the fiscal year to date of $273,000. That's for revenues of $2.979 million versus expenditures of $3.252 million. Next, there's Part 1, Section B, the summary of general fund balance. So the general fund unrestricted cash balance as of June 30th, 2025 is $1,040,000. Village of Glen Echo Park project balance as of June 30th, 2025, 74,000. Amounts due to the general fund from other funds, 113,000. The amounts due from general fund to other funds, 9,000. That results in a total general fund balance of 1,218,000 when you round it up. So that's the unrestricted total. And then for the restricted amounts, you have the drug task force amount as of June 30th of 103,000, and the restricted amount at Simmons Bank as of June 30th of 633,000. That results in a total restricted amount of 736,000. Next, we'll move to Part 1, Section C, income for the general fund. Ideally, the percentage of budget remaining for income at fiscal year to date for 9 months out of the fiscal year should be at or below 25%, which would indicate that the amount of actual income was either the same or more than the budget amount of income. Unfortunately, the city fell short of the budget amount for income for fiscal year to date by more than $276,000, or 6.4% of the total budget amount. Next, Part 1, Section D, expenditures by department for general fund. Conversely, the percentage of budget remaining for expenditures at fiscal year to date should be at or above 25%, which would indicate that the amount of actual expenditures was either the same or less than the budget amount of expenditures. Fortunately, the city spent less than it had budgeted for fiscal year to date by $3,059, or 0.1% of the total budget amount. However, when it came to the individual departments, some fared better in keeping expenses under budget while others did not. Those departments that were under budget were the police and park. Those that were over budget were administration, court, public works, and prosecuting attorney. That's all I have, and we'll be taking questions, if there are any.
I just think it's interesting to have these two documents next to each other, because we can see that in some areas we've really made some progress and kind of keeping things under control, and which departments are over and under budget. Because we're getting ready to work on the new budget, or into the process of doing that, it would be kind of helpful to see this for the entire fiscal year in bar form, in some kind of graph form, so that you can see over the months, because I think sometimes people don't understand that certain things are going to come in differently. So if we have it presented so that we know month by month where the fluctuations are, that would be helpful.
Okay. Now, when you say a bar, are you saying?
Bar, pie, whatever you want to use, but I think bar graphs that would show, the ones that go horizontally, and then you'll have, like, the part in red will be under the line, and the part that,
Okay.
yeah.
To say where it could be, like if it should have been 25%, you'll see this one's 31, this one's only 18.
Yeah,
Okay.
that would be helpful.
Okay. I think I can work on that.
We did have a lot of expenditures, the salt dome, the.
Ma'am? Do you mind if I speak?
Yeah, the salt dome, the fountain, so we did have some expenditures, that we were not expecting, this year. Go ahead.
And also just for context, so between May and June is when we actually performed some transfers, meaning due to due from. So if you look at the May report, you'll notice towards the bottom, that there were some expected transfers to happen. They did occur in June, so we are slowly, replenishing the general fund where a lot of those expenditures were paid out of from other funds where they were supposed to come out.
And how is the county doing with getting us the?
I think the entire St. Louis County, nobody's loving the new reporting system, and I think, the City Clerks Association had actually approached Mark DeBoer and asked him if he would be willing to speak to other city clerks who are having trouble understanding how the disbursement reports are being made now. But he has been very helpful to us to be able to split up how now everything is reported as a total property tax versus personal property tax and real estate.
So they're not breaking it apart.
They're not breaking out, but because Mark DeBoer is a fantastic person and very helpful, I did reach out to him and he actually set a separate spreadsheet that split it up for us for both May and June.
Any questions? Any other? Can I get a motion to approve the
May and June.
May and June financial reports?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you, Mr. Ellis.
Thank you. No, mind, I'll excuse myself from the remainder, if that's all right. Appreciate you, thank you.
New business, resolution number 25-35. And if you look in your packet, it's the last 3 or 4 pages. And basically what this is, I gotta read it. A resolution of the City of Normandy authorizing the mayor or city administrator to execute the requisition certificate authorizing the reimbursement of industrial development revenue bonds to pay for the completion of an industrial development project. So basically, this is the last piece, and for people that weren't here when this happened, this is the last piece of the puzzle for the the bonds that we issue to the USDA plant. So even though we really didn't have to, under the conditions, we didn't have to bring it to a vote, but because we already voted for it a few years back and everything, Marty wanted us to see this contract and to vote on it. And basically what we're saying is, yes, the monies can be exchanged and everything, and we're good. Everything's good. I mean, it's already been done. It's the last nail in the coffin, so. Any questions on this? Can I get a motion to approve resolution number 25-35?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Second.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. We just need to approve the liquor license. They're not speaking, right? Okay. Approval of the liquor license renewal application for Honey's Cafe and Wine Bar, 7312 Natural Bridge Road.
Been a year already?
I know, right? This is just the commonplace renewal of the Honey's liquor license. So I just need a motion for approval in a second.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Number 3, discussion of volunteer lists and application websites to support.
Okay, so this is what I was talking about before. We've been talking about ways to get people to volunteer. Basically, what we're looking for is a way to collect information and to disperse information. I've been using a form, the free version of a product called JotForm. JotForm is a way of taking what is the equivalent of an Excel table. So you've got rows and columns of data, and creating a front to that so that you have the ability on a cell phone or whatever to collect the data, and it builds a database. From that database, you can send letters, you can send text, you can send emails. I've been using the free version, which gives us very, very limited scope in terms of what we can do. So you can have it as little as the free version, which I've got, which gives me the capability of sending out a message to people. Everybody on the council should have at some point gotten a message from me, at least once or twice, asking them to sign up for this. And I've sent it to some members of the public as well. The problem is that it comes with a big thing that says JOT form on it. And people say, I don't know what this is. When they click on that, they'll see it says Normandy Volunteer Registration Form, and I can change that form to collect different kinds of data. But that's just one very simple way of how this could be used. So the free version, as I said, is free. There are the bronze level, the silver level, the gold level. I don't remember whether they have a platinum. But right now, the bronze level was $39 a month. It just gives you the opportunity to create more forms and to do more things. But again, it's limited. And with each, that's usually $39 a month. It's $16.50 a month right now. But again, you still have only one user to be able to use this. So I had a meeting today on the phone with someone from this company, and they're willing to do a demo for us. And I've sent some emails to people, because you can look this stuff up online as well. There's an enterprise version of the software, which would be much bigger. We get our dedicated server for it, which means that our data doesn't get, you know, on a server, you're going to have a segmented part, like, you know, my free version, my stuff is in there with 30 million other people who use the free version. If we went to the enterprise version for the city, it gives you an awful lot more capability. You're able to have five users. There's one administrative dashboard. You can create teams. You can create workflows. For example, just tonight Karen was asking me about a process that we want to use to go around and just kind of eyeball houses and say what we think the code violations might be. I created that on my phone 5 minutes before the meeting. It's not very hard to do. Washington University is one of the largest users of this product in the St. Louis area. I think they've got about 52,000 users in there. Now that's scaled to a great big expense. The enterprise version that we would be looking at, which comes with 24-hour tech support, the ability to build teams. So if we had 5 users, this is just an example, you might have one user be Public Works, another one might be courts, another one would be city clerk, another one might be the city administrator, another one might be the mayor, to have the ability to do lots of things. You can import data, you can export data. So if you have already some product that we're using, you can use it as an interface. So essentially what this is citizen relationship management software. So that if we're looking at an emergency situation, for example, and we've got enough names in there, and we know that a big storm is coming, say, like last winter, we knew that that big storm was coming. It was just a matter of when it was going to hit us. So 3 or 4 days, we had advance notice that that storm was coming. If we had enough people in there, we could give very, very explicit emails, text, to the community to let them know what they might expect and what the city was doing. If there was a report of a problem on a specific street, that could be done in real time. So people could fill out the form saying there's a car stuck in the road over here. Marty would get the report and he'd know where he could send the trucks out to. That version cost $8,300. And for that kind of a solution, that's a yearly contract. Now the other parts of it, the smaller ones with one user, can be as cheap as $16.50. So if we wanted to set up a volunteer list, that's easy enough to do. The hardest part is collecting the data of who gets out to it. You could use it, for example, if you wanted to do a big push to get people to update their occupancy permits. You could fill out all the data that they want. You can have, in this enterprise version, you can have legal signatures. People can pay for things online. So they take PayPal, Cash App, any number of payment sources. And it can integrate with the software that the city has already. So in the very small part, for right now, I would like us to buy at least the 1650 version so that we can start to build a volunteer database. Because I've got the form kind of filled out. I can add more data fields to it, but it would be a simple way of our collecting volunteers. I created an app that everybody could have, all the council members could have on their cell phone. Or it could be on a tablet, or it could be on a computer. So when we have an event and we want people to register for it, like when we have a public hearing, we could have people just put their stuff into this computer and you would be able to generate a list from that. Thank people. You could ask people when their birthdays are, month and year. We don't want to necessarily know that. I was born in 1948. But if we wanted to send, the city wanted to send birthday greetings to people, or send notices about Shakespeare in the Park, or any of those things that could be done very inexpensively, and it's not hard to use. If you know Microsoft Office, like Excel, Word, those processes, you can use this product. It's not hard. So I'm going to ask that there be a demonstration of the enterprise version for our workshop. But in the short run, if we can get me the $16.50 a month so that I can put Normandy's name on it, because people are more likely to respond to something that comes from Normandy. The other thing is you can have it sent, if you buy the enterprise one, it can be sent from email addresses that people recognize. It can be, you can have it posted on your website. So if people had complaints about code enforcement, there is at this point a place to send that. Well, we could send an automated message to them that says your complaint has been received, and have a process that's already lined out that this is what you can expect the city to do in a response. So it will make people, it really gives us a way of listening to people. You can have it on your cell phone, and we can, I think it would be a great way of our keeping in touch with people. And it's did I say $8,300 for the enterprise?
Per year.
Yeah, per year. Now the other one, you know, we could buy a year's worth of the single user for the volunteer stuff, but I'm going to ask that we consider this in the new budget year, and in the short term, $16.50 a month, so that I can build the volunteer stuff.
So that's for the bronze version,
That's the bronze version.
and that's the one where you have the shared server?
Yeah,
Okay.
shared server, but it's used for small projects.
Yeah.
But if we wanted to do the big one, you know, you can put it on the website, you can send it to people, people can have it on the app on their phones, and people can opt in or out. On the volunteer one that I've done already, it asks for name and address, telephone number, email address, and gives a list of things that people might want to do. Boards and commissions, city beautification, Redbird rookies, anything that we would want to put on that list, you know, park cleanup, specific projects. But it's not very difficult to use, and I think it could, in the long run, help to simplify some of what people have to do in their jobs. And the Teams version, if Marty wanted to communicate with his workers about some particular thing that's happening, or if the police needed to get some, I mean, they already can't communicate, but it also will interact with the systems that we already have in place. Because essentially what you're gonna do with any of these systems is there's a database behind there. There's some Excel table type stuff, which are called flat files behind there. You can extract that data and pull it into here. So over time, we can build an active database that we can quickly get in touch with people. You can also plan communications in advance. You can have a calendar feature that says, we know we're gonna do this, 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 and this. So if it's the trunk or treat, Shakespeare in the Park, pancake breakfast, any of those things, you could tell people what, you know, way in advance, and then you could remind them, and you could automate it so you don't have to do it. You just build it one time and push the buttons.
Is the demo available on the 28th when we have the workshop?
I called them, I did pull up one, I think I sent it to you on your email, on your city email, that talks about the process, but he says that he'll try to be able to be available if I give him the time exactly that because I met with him on Zoom today. I mean, I kind of knew a little bit more about the process, so we're kind of, I was asking price, I got some notes here, where are they? The things that I was impressed, you've got the dedicated server, you have a Zoom account for your product, you have an administrative console, unlimited usage, 24-hour support. So they will train you on how to use it. And if you look at the process of applying for a permit, people could go online, apply for the permit, pay for it, all of those kinds of things. Upload pictures. If you're complaining about a code enforcement issue, that corner lot with the big weeds, you could take a picture of it, put in the address of what you're talking about, describe it, and send it to Public Works, so they would get a chance to see it. Then, you know, one of the things that we've been doing in the Code Enforcement Commission is looking at what happens after something, you know, after a complaint comes in. That you can actually map that out, pull the data so it matches what's in your system. And it's a fairly simple process. I think it's a good, that's just one of these things. I'm talking about JotForm now because I've been using that one. And I have used a paid version when I worked for a nonprofit at one point. So I think it would be worth our while to at least make that initial investment of the bronze package at $16.50 a month so that I can get the volunteer stuff. And, you know, I'd be collecting names of people who come to the meetings. We do that now. We send out some information, but we can send pictures, we can send all kinds of stuff and collect information.
What happens to the information if you decide to cancel the subscription?
Well, before you cancel, you can export it to your own. I mean, there's a table back there, and so you can, all the data that you have, you can just create a file and send it somewhere else, and then import it to wherever else you want it to use.
So that information isn't sold to anyone else?
Oh no, it's yours. Not sold to anybody else, because you'd have on the enterprise system, you have your own server, your own dedicated server. So, and it's, you know, in the cloud, it's not local, but that's what you get for your $8,300. The product is pretty well, if anybody's ever used Salesforce, there are lots of different kinds of products like this. But this one is one of the simplest, and I've used a lot of these things. But this one is, it's fun, it's fast, there's even an AI version now that if you said, okay, I want to create a form for reporting a code violation, all you have to do is just say it to AI and they'll create it for you. But if you don't like it, you can always go in and change it too. So you can do a lot of things, and the AI part is fairly new. I was just finding out that today. I would like to get a demo for the council, and, you know.
28th at 5:30.
Yeah, I told him the date, I didn't tell him 5:30, but he said if he couldn't make it himself, he would make sure that we had, video links to do it. And there are other municipalities that use it. There's a government version that is also scalable, but that one is primarily because it has special protections if you have to collect HIPAA information. So, you know, like the welfare department or a hospital might use that version. We don't need that because we're not collecting that kind of information.
So Vicki, how would the citizens sign up for it? They would have to opt in, or?
Yeah, they would opt in, and what we would do is we would send, we have I think all of us may have some contact information. All the council members probably have some amount of contact information for, whether it's in your cell phone or your email or whatever. We would start with that kind of stuff. If we already have list of people who we send emails to now, we could gather all that information, send out a blast to people, and have them sign up for the volunteer stuff. The other information, you could export a housing file or the data that we have already, of name, address, whatever, pull it out of that housing system that we use, drop it into here, put it in its own table so you know exactly where that came from. So it's going to be in its own table, and then you can merge, update, ask people to update. If we got a telephone number for somebody, we can say, hey, we'd like to know when your birthday is, or how many children you have, or any of that stuff. So we have, there's a sign-up list every year at Christmas time for us to be able to identify families who may need help. It would be a quick way to get some information that then council members might call these folks and say, hey, we have this, would you be interested in doing this? Or beyond the backpack kind of stuff, we know there are kids. We could also add an award designation. We can do our own surveys. We can create our own surveys. We did a survey before, we had to pay for it, and we didn't get the raw data. But we could do our own surveys anytime we wanted. If there's a question that we want to ask the public, we can ask them, and they can answer that question. So it gives us a lot more real-time contact with our citizens.
Any other questions? August 28th at 5.
Yeah, I'll get in touch with them.
Yes. All right, citizen comments.
Kimberly Moore?
Hello again. I forgot one thing. Before Sam left, months before that, we were trying to make sure that all of the streets in Normandy had signs. He assured us that would be done before he left. Mr. Marty's now been here 3 or 4 months, and we still don't have street signs on our street. I was told they were ordered, so just hoping that before Marty leaves again at the end of the month, that this can finally be completed. Because now we're through 2 city admins, and we still don't have street signs, and it's really important, especially when it comes to health and safety concerns, trying to locate people. Last thing, it is painfully cold in here. Painfully. That's all.
Can you give us an update on the street signs, Mark?
They're ordered and they will start going up in the next 2 weeks.
Awesome sauce. Thank you so much.
Terry Gannon?
Terry Gannon. Did you talk about, Yolanda, did you talk about the author,
No, I
Alexander?
gotta send out
Okay.
an email.
All
I haven't
right.
sent out the
All right. On September 21st, there's going to be a celebration of freedom over at St. Peter's Cemetery. It's been put on the National Underground Railroad site. Archer Alexander is the enslaved person that was depicted on the statue in Washington, D.C. I think the name is Emancipation. And that statue was paid for by other enslaved people. He also, kind of changed the outcome of the Civil War when he let the Union soldiers know about plans to blow up a bridge. And for that, he was given his freedom. He led other people to freedom. And he is buried in St. Peter's Cemetery in an unmarked grave. And so Doris Keevan Frank, who has been a friend of Normandy and has done programs and stuff for us, has been researching him. She's the one who, with Bill Baumgartner, found his grave over there. So they have plans to build a memorial for him in St. Peter's Cemetery. So September 21st is going to be the celebration. I'm just going to put these flyers over there. I think it's kind of amazing, you know, the history of St. Peter's Cemetery, and we should be proud of the Black history that we have here.
You sent the proclamation, right?
What?
The proclamation?
Oh, yeah, I sent, you the proclamation. We don't need it till September
Right, but
for
you sent
this, okay?
Hey Terry, can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
Since you all figured out where his plot is and you said that it's unmarked,
Uh-huh.
is there any way that we can mark it? I think once we do that.
Oh, that's what they're gonna do with this.
Oh, okay, awesome, okay.
Yeah, they know where it is. I
Okay.
mean, it's kind of marked now. And, so yeah, this is gonna be a big deal.
Awesome, that's great, thank you.
That's it. Thank you. Oh, can I get a roll call vote to go into closed session?
To discuss legal and personnel.
Oh, sorry, to discuss legal and personnel. I need a roll call.
Well, we need a motion in a second.
I make a motion to go into closed session.
I'll second. Roll call vote, please.
Okay, Councilman Sachsenheimer?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cleveland?
Yes.
Councilman Washington?
Yes.
Councilman Evans?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bourret?
Yes.
Councilman Roberts?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bayer?
Yes.
Cool.
Good shit.
Good night.
Talking about that.